first thing Daniel Reed forgot was his own name. He was standing in a small white room. The walls were smooth and clean, like they had never been touched. There was a steel door in front of him with no handle on the inside. A narrow slot opened and closed with a sharp metal sound. Click. A tray slid in. Daniel stared at it. Food. He knew it was food. But his hands did not move. A voice came from a speaker in the ceiling. Inmate Reed, step back from the door. Daniel felt fear rush through his chest. His heart beat fast. He stepped back without thinking. That was when he realized something was very wrong. The voice had called him Reed. But that name felt strange, like it belonged to someone else. Daniel pressed his palms to his head. He tried to remember who he was. He tried to remember his face, his life, his past. Nothing came. Panic filled the room. He opened his mouth to scream, but no sound came out. His throat felt tight, like it had forgotten how to work. The voice spoke again. Prepare for transfer. Transfer where? Daniel looked around. The room had no window, no clock, no color, just white. Then the door opened. Bright light flooded in. Daniel shielded his eyes as guards in black uniforms stepped inside. They wore helmets with dark glass. He could not see their faces. Strong hands grabbed his arms. Wait, Daniel said. The word sounded wrong in his mouth, like it was the first word he had spoken in years. Wait, he said again. Who am I? The guards did not answer. They pulled him into a long hallway. The floor was gray. The walls were gray. Everything was gray. As they walked, Daniel saw other doors. Each one looked just like his. Each one was closed. No voices. No sounds. No people. Just silence. They led him into another room. This one was bigger. A man in a suit stood there with a folder in his hands. Daniel Reed, the man said calmly. Your sentence is complete. Daniel blinked. Sentence, he asked. The man looked at him, then at the folder. You have served 23 years. Daniel felt dizzy. For what? The man paused. Just for a moment. Murder, he said. The word hit Daniel like a punch. No, Daniel said quickly. I don't remember. The man closed the folder. That is not unusual, he said. In this facility, memory loss is common. Facility. Daniel looked around. Where am I? The man smiled, but there was no warmth in it. You were housed in a special prison, he said. One designed to protect society. Daniel's hands shook. Why can't I remember anything? The man did not answer. Instead, he turned and walked away. The guards led Daniel to a changing room. They removed his prison clothes and gave him jeans, a shirt, and shoes. Normal clothes. They felt heavy. Wrong. When Daniel looked at himself in the mirror, he stepped back. The face staring at him was older than he felt. Lines crossed his forehead. His hair was thin and gray. Who did this to me? He whispered. No one answered. An hour later, Daniel was outside. The sky was blue. The sun was bright. It hurt his eyes. He stood still, unsure how to move. A woman waited by a car. She had kind eyes and brown hair pulled back in a simple tie. Daniel, she said. He turned toward her slowly. I'm Sarah, she said. I'm your sister. The word sister meant nothing. She hugged him. Daniel's body froze. He did not know how to hug back. It's okay, Sarah said softly. You're free now. Free. The drive was quiet. Cars passed by. People walked on sidewalks. Life moved fast. Daniel pressed his forehead to the window. Everything felt too loud, too bright. At Sarah's house, he followed her inside like a lost child. She showed him the guest room. You can stay here, she said, as long as you need. That night, Daniel sat on the bed and stared at the wall. He did not sleep. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw white walls, steel doors, no faces. In the middle of the night, he heard a sound. Footsteps. Slow. Steady. Daniel's body went cold. He stood and pressed his ear to the door. The footsteps stopped. Then came a soft voice. Inmate Reed. Daniel jumped back, his heart racing. The door was still closed. No one was there. But the voice had been real. The next morning, Sarah found Daniel sitting on the floor. I think I'm still in prison, he said quietly. She frowned. You're not. You're home. Daniel shook his head. That prison doesn't let you leave, he said. Not really. Over the next few days, things got worse. Daniel forgot how to use a phone. He forgot how to cook. He forgot how to speak in full sentences sometimes. But the worst part was the missing pieces. Sarah showed him old photos. Daniel as a young man. Daniel smiling. Daniel with friends. None of it felt real. I think they erased me, Daniel said one night. Sarah looked at him with fear. Who? The prison, he said. Before they let you go, they take something away. What do they take? She asked. Daniel swallowed hard. Everything that makes you human. That night, Daniel dreamed. He was back in the white room. A man stood outside his door. He wore a suit. He held a folder. Release is not freedom, the man said. It is the final punishment. Daniel woke up screaming. He ran to the bathroom and splashed water on his face. When he looked up at the mirror, something was written on the glass. 3 words, scratched deep. You were erased first. Daniel staggered backward, his breath shaking. Because he knew one thing for sure now. The prison had let him out. But it was not done with him yet. Daniel could not stop staring at the mirror. The words were still there. You were erased first. His hands trembled as he reached out and touched the glass. The letters felt rough, like they had been cut in with something sharp. Sarah, he shouted. She ran down the hallway, fear already on her face. What is it? Daniel stepped aside and pointed. The mirror was clean. Perfectly clean. No, Daniel whispered. It was right there. I saw it. Sarah searched his face. Daniel, there's nothing there. He backed away, his heart pounding. They are doing it again, he said. They are inside my head. Sarah sat him down on the bed. Listen to me, she said gently. You've been through something terrible. That prison messed you up. But you're safe now. Daniel wanted to believe her. But deep down, he knew the truth. Safety was a lie. That day, Sarah took him to a doctor. The building smelled like soap and paper. The doctor was a calm man named Dr. Harris. He asked Daniel many questions. What day is it? Do you know where you are? Do you remember your childhood? Daniel shook his head again and again. Dr. Harris wrote notes on a pad. His pen moved fast. This kind of damage, the doctor said, comes from long-term isolation. No voices. No touch. No human contact. Daniel looked up. They never talked to us, he said. Not really. Just orders. Dr. Harris paused. Us. Daniel froze. I wasn't alone, he said slowly. There were others. I never saw them. But I heard things. What kind of things? Dr. Harris asked. Daniel closed his eyes. Crying. Screaming. Then, nothing. Dr. Harris leaned back. Daniel, that prison, adxflorence, uses extreme isolation. Some inmates break. Some lose time. Some lose themselves. Some get erased, Daniel said. The doctor did not answer. That night, Daniel could not sleep again. At exactly 3:17 a.m., the lights in the hallway flickered. Daniel sat up. A soft buzzing filled his ears. Then a familiar sound. Click. The same sound he heard every day in his cell. A tray sliding in. Daniel's chest tightened. He stood and opened the bedroom door. The hallway was dark. At the end of the hall, the front door stood open. Sarah was asleep. He could hear her breathing. Daniel walked toward the door like he was being pulled. Outside, a black van waited. No lights. No sound. The side door opened by itself. Inside, the van was white. White walls. White floor. Daniel's stomach dropped. A voice came from nowhere. Final evaluation required. Daniel backed away. No, he said. I'm free. The voice did not respond. Images flooded his mind. The prison. The silence. The years disappearing. He ran. The van door slammed shut behind him. Daniel ran back into the house and locked the door. He slid to the floor, shaking. In the morning, Sarah found muddy footprints outside, leading away from the house. Daniel told her everything. She stared at him, pale. I'm calling a lawyer, she said. And a reporter. 2 days later, a woman named Lisa Carter came to the house. She was an investigative journalist. I've heard stories like yours, Lisa said quietly. Men who leave ADX empty. What happens to them? Daniel asked. Lisa hesitated. Some disappear. Some take their own lives. Some end up back inside for crimes they don't remember committing. Daniel felt sick. Why would they do this? Lisa leaned closer. Because if they destroy your mind, they don't have to watch you anymore. That night, Daniel finally remembered something. A room. A chair. A question asked again and again. Who are you? And every time he answered, they took something away. A memory. A feeling. A name. Until there was almost nothing left. Daniel grabbed his head and screamed. Outside, a car engine started. Headlights flashed through the window, and a voice spoke clearly inside his mind. Release phase complete. Subject destabilizing. Daniel knew then what the prison really was. It wasn't meant to punish crimes. It was meant to erase people. And he was proof that it worked. Daniel woke up screaming. His throat burned. His heart felt like it would jump out of his chest. Sarah ran into the room. Daniel, wake up. He sat up fast, sweating, his eyes wide. For a moment, he didn't know where he was. The walls looked too close, too white. Then he saw Sarah. I thought I was back, he said, gasping. I thought they took me again. Sarah hugged him, even though he went stiff at first. Human touch still felt strange to him. After a few seconds, he slowly relaxed. You're here, she said. You're home. Daniel nodded, but his mind did not agree. Later that morning, Lisa Carter returned. She brought a laptop, papers, and a small recorder. I've been digging, she said. What you told me matches other cases. How many? Daniel asked. Lisa took a breath. At least 12 former inmates. All from adxflorence. All released early. All showed signs of severe mental damage. Erased, Daniel said. Yes, Lisa replied. Families say the same thing. Their loved ones came back, different. Quiet. Empty. Afraid of light. Afraid of sound. Sarah's hands shook. Why hasn't anyone stopped this? Lisa looked down. Because it's legal. The prison calls it behavior control. They say it keeps the public safe. Daniel laughed, but there was no joy in it. They didn't control behavior, he said. They deleted us. That afternoon, Daniel tried to go outside alone. The sun hurt his eyes. The sky felt too big. A car passed by, and the sound made him jump. He pressed himself against the wall, just like in his cell. A neighbor waved. Hey there. Daniel froze. His mouth opened, but no words came out. Talking felt dangerous. He went back inside and locked the door. That night, Daniel heard whispering again. Not from the walls. From the TV. The screen turned on by itself. White text appeared on a black background. Subject failed to reintegrate. Daniel backed away. Sarah rushed in. What's wrong? The TV shut off. Daniel pointed with shaking hands. They are watching, he said. They never stopped. Lisa came over immediately when Sarah called her. This isn't normal, Lisa said. Someone could be messing with you. Daniel shook his head. No, this is how they did it inside. Messages. Sounds. Silence. Then words. Lisa stared at him. Daniel, what if they are trying to cover their tracks? Sarah's face went pale. You mean? Lisa nodded. If someone proves what ADX really does, it could shut the place down. Daniel felt cold all over. That night, he packed a bag. Where are you going? Sarah asked. I can't stay, Daniel said. If they come, they'll take you too. Lisa offered to hide him. I know a safe place, she said. No records. No cameras. They left after midnight. The road was empty. The car was silent. Daniel watched the mirrors the whole time. Halfway there, the radio turned on. Static filled the car. Then a voice. Calm. Flat. Familiar. Daniel Wright. Returned to custody. Sarah screamed. Lisa slammed the brakes. Headlights appeared behind them. A black van. The same one. The road ahead blocked itself, like it was closing in. Daniel opened the door and ran into the dark. Behind him, the van doors opened. Inside his head, the voice spoke one last time. Erasure incomplete. Daniel tripped and fell. Strong hands grabbed his arms. And as the world went dark, Daniel understood the final truth. You don't leave that prison. Not really. Daniel woke up to the sound of dripping water. He was lying on a cold concrete floor. His arms and legs were free, but his body ached. The ceiling was low, and the walls were gray. A single bulb flickered above, casting shadows that danced like ghosts. He tried to remember how he got there. The van. The straps. Mr. Collins. The screaming. Pieces floated in his mind, but none fit together. A metal door creaked open. A guard stepped inside, tall, silent, and wearing black. Daniel's stomach tightened. His first instinct was to duck, to run, but he had nowhere to go. Stand, the guard said. Daniel obeyed, though his knees shook. Subject unstable. The guard muttered into a radio. Prepare for containment. Daniel's chest burned. Containment? No, I won't. The guard stepped closer, and Daniel flinched. He had learned over the years at adxflorence that flinching was dangerous. But this was different. He had already been erased once. He could feel it happening again, slowly, as if someone was peeling away layers of his mind. Subject recognized, the guard said. Identity degrading. Initiate suppression protocol. Daniel's heart raced. He tried to back away, but the wall was behind him. His breathing grew shallow. Sweat poured down his face. A mechanical click sounded. A device lowered from the ceiling. A thin, silver collar wrapped around his neck. Cold. Tight. You can't escape this time, a voice said, calm and robotic. You are Subject 97. Compliance required. Daniel grabbed at the collar. His hands shook, but it didn't move. Panic gripped him like a vice. No. I am human. I am Daniel Reed. I am alive, he screamed. The collar hummed. A sharp, vibrating pulse ran through his skull. Images flashed in his mind, childhood memories, Sarah and Lisa, the house he had seen once, the van, the endless white rooms, doors opening and closing. And then, blackness. Daniel collapsed to the floor, gasping. His thoughts felt scrambled. He tried to remember his mother's face, but it dissolved into gray. He tried to recall Ethan's laugh, but it became silence. The guards did not speak. They just waited. After what felt like hours, the pulse stopped. The collar lifted. Daniel lay on the floor, trembling, trying to grasp any memory left. There was nothing. Only the sound of his own shallow breathing. Subject is compliant, the robotic voice said. Return to observation. Daniel crawled to the wall and pressed himself against it. Tears ran down his face. He had been released once before, but they had found him again. And now, they had begun erasing him from the inside out. Later, when the guards left, Daniel explored the room. He saw a small drain in the floor. Water seeped from it slowly. The room smelled damp and metallic. A window, high on the wall, was sealed shut. He felt trapped, alone, and terrified. He sat in the corner and tried to focus. He needed a plan. He had to escape. He could not let them erase him again. But how do you fight a prison designed to erase people before they are even free? The question echoed in his head, louder than any scream. Then, through the gray walls, he heard a faint voice. It was distorted, distant, but unmistakable. Daniel. He froze. Not a machine. Not a guard. Someone was reaching out to him. And that was when the lights in the room went out completely. The darkness pressed in, heavy and complete. Daniel realized, with a sinking heart, that this prison wasn't just around him. It was inside him. And it had only just begun. The darkness stayed longer than Daniel expected. He counted his breaths. That was something he learned inside ADX. Counting helped keep the mind from breaking. 1, 2, 3. Then the lights came back on. Not bright this time. Soft. Yellow. Daniel squinted. His eyes hurt. Daniel. The voice came again. It was real. He was sure now. Who's there? He whispered. A small speaker slid out from the wall, just inches from his face. Static crackled. My name is Aaron, the voice said. I'm in the cell next to you. Daniel's heart jumped. Another prisoner. Yes, Aaron said. Or what's left of one. Daniel crawled closer to the wall. He pressed his ear against it. How long have you been here? Aaron laughed quietly. It sounded broken. I stopped counting years ago. Daniel swallowed. Why can I hear you? We were never allowed to talk. That's why you can hear me, Aaron said. Something went wrong. Or maybe, something changed. Daniel thought about the collar. The pulses. The erasing. They are trying to finish me, Daniel said. They already erased most of me. They do that, Aaron replied. They take memories first. Then feelings. Then names. Last thing to go is fear. Daniel's voice shook. Why fear? Because fear keeps you quiet, Aaron said. Footsteps echoed down the hallway. Both men went silent. The steps stopped. A guard's voice spoke through the speakers. Communication breach detected. Daniel's chest tightened. Listen to me, Aaron whispered fast. If they ask you who you are, don't answer. What? Daniel said. Names help them erase you faster, Aaron said. If you don't answer, it slows the process. The door to Daniel's cell slid open. 2 guards entered. Their faces were hidden behind dark masks. Stand, one ordered. Daniel stood. State your name, the guard said. Daniel felt his mouth open. Then he remembered Aaron's words. He closed it. The guard stepped closer. State your name. Daniel shook his head. The guard paused. Resistance noted. The lights flickered. Daniel's head started to hurt. A sharp pain stabbed behind his eyes. State your name, the voice demanded again. Daniel screamed. Not his name. Just a scream. The pain grew worse, but something strange happened. The images didn't break this time. They stayed. Sarah's face. Lisa's voice. The road at night. The guard cursed softly. System lag, he said. The other guard looked uneasy. His holding. They dragged Daniel back into the chair and strapped him down. As they worked, Daniel heard Aaron's voice again, faint but strong. Don't let go, Aaron said. They can't erase what you refuse to give. The guards left. The pain faded. Daniel was shaking, but he was still there. For the first time since ADX, he felt something new. Hope. Hours passed. Or maybe days. Time meant nothing inside this place. Then Daniel heard a scream. Not his. Aaron's. It cut through the walls, full of terror and pain. Then silence. Daniel pressed his face into the wall. Aaron, he whispered. No answer. A screen lit up in front of him. Text appeared. Subject 98. Status. Erased. Daniel's stomach dropped. Aaron was gone. The screen changed again. Next subject, 97. Daniel knew what that meant. They were coming back for him. And this time, the prison was ready to finish the job. Daniel sat very still. The words on the screen burned into his eyes. Next subject, 97. That was him. He pressed his hands together and breathed slowly. His heart wanted to run. His body wanted to scream. But he stayed quiet. That was how you survived here. The wall where Aaron's voice once came from was silent now. Too silent. Daniel felt something heavy in his chest. Aaron was gone. Not moved. Not sleeping. Erased. Footsteps came down the hallway again. Slow. Calm. Careful. The lights dimmed as two guards stopped in front of Daniel's cell. The door did not open right away. Instead, the speaker buzzed. Subject 97, a voice said. Final stage begins now. Daniel swallowed. His mouth felt dry. You were released once, the voice continued. That was an error. You became unstable. You remembered too much. Daniel spoke before he could stop himself. You broke me, he said. That's why. There was a pause. Then the voice said, correction. We improved you. The door slid open. Mr. Collins stepped inside. He looked the same. Calm. Clean. Empty smile. You lasted longer than most, Mr. Collins said. You should be proud. Daniel stared at him. You killed Aaron. Mr. Collins tilted his head. Aaron never existed in the system. He was noise. Daniel's fists clenched. He was a person. Mr. Collins tapped his tablet. Not anymore. Guards moved Daniel into another room. This one was bigger. The chair waited in the center. Different from before. Stronger. Thicker straps. A helmet hung above it, filled with wires. Daniel's breathing sped up. This is how you erase us, he said. Mr. Collins nodded. This is how we finish. They strapped Daniel in. His arms. His legs. His chest. His head. He couldn't move at all. The helmet lowered slowly. Inside his head, memories began to shake. Sarah. Lisa. The house. The night road. Daniel fought to hold them. I won't disappear, he whispered. Mr. Collins leaned close. Everyone does. The helmet locked into place. The machine powered on. Daniel screamed as pain exploded through his mind. Not sharp pain. Deep pain. Like his thoughts were being pulled apart. Who are you? The machine asked. Daniel cried. Who are you? It asked again. He saw Aaron's face in his mind. Or what he imagined it looked like. Don't answer, Daniel whispered. The machine hummed louder. Images began to fade. But then, something strange happened. The screen beside the chair flickered. A red warning flashed. System error. Mr. Collins stepped back. That's not possible. The lights flickered hard. The machine slowed. Daniel gasped. He could feel it. Something had changed. A new voice came over the speakers. Not calm. Not flat. Urgent. Unauthorized access detected. Mr. Collins turned pale. Shut it down, he shouted. Another message appeared on the screen. External signal received. Daniel's heart jumped. Someone was trying to get in. The straps loosened slightly. Alarms screamed. Guards ran in. Mr. Collins yelled, "Erase him now." The helmet dropped lower. Daniel felt his memories slipping fast. Sarah's face blurred. Lisa's voice faded. The last thing Daniel heard was a distant sound. Sirens. Real ones. Then the helmet locked tight. And the screen flashed one final message. Erasure override failed. Subject still conscious. Daniel screamed as the machine surged back to life. And everything went white. Daniel did not know how long the white lasted. It felt like forever. Then, slowly, the white began to crack. Sounds came first. A low hum. A loud alarm. Shouting voices. Daniel opened his eyes. The helmet was still on his head, but the lights above him were flashing red now. The room shook like something heavy was moving nearby. Power surge, someone yelled. Shut it down, another voice shouted. Daniel felt the straps loosen again. This time, they did not tighten back. The helmet lifted halfway, then stopped. Daniel gasped for air. The door to the room slammed open. Men and women rushed in wearing dark blue jackets. Big white letters were printed on their backs. FBI. Mr. Collins screamed. You don't understand what you're interrupting. An agent pushed him against the wall. We understand enough, she said. Step away from the prisoner. Prisoner. The word hit Daniel hard. Was that all he was? The helmet was pulled off completely. Bright light hurt his eyes, but he didn't care. He was free from the machine. A woman knelt in front of him. My name is Agent Miller, she said gently. Can you hear me? Daniel nodded slowly. Can you tell me your name? She asked. Daniel froze. Fear rushed through him. Names erase you faster. He shook his head. Agent Miller looked confused but stayed calm. That's okay, she said. You don't have to talk. They cut the straps. Daniel collapsed forward, weak and shaking. 2 agents caught him before he hit the floor. As they carried him out, Daniel saw the hallway. Doors lined both sides. Some were scratched. Some had dried blood near the bottom. Some had nothing at all. Empty. Are there others? Daniel whispered. Agent Miller's face tightened. We're checking every room. They passed one open cell. Inside, a chair sat alone. No body. No movement. Just silence. Daniel turned his head away. They moved him outside. For the first time in what felt like years, Daniel felt fresh air on his skin. The sky was gray. Rain fell softly. He started to cry. An ambulance waited nearby. As they laid him inside, Daniel grabbed Agent Miller's sleeve. Aaron, he whispered. He was next to me. Agent Miller paused. We didn't find anyone named Aaron. Daniel's heart sank. Before the doors closed, he saw Mr. Collins being dragged away in handcuffs. Mr. Collins looked back at Daniel and smiled. Inside the ambulance, Daniel stared at the ceiling. A medic spoke softly. You're safe now. Daniel wanted to believe that. But deep inside his mind, he felt it. A hollow place, where memories should be. The prison had not taken his body, but it had taken pieces of his mind. And as the ambulance drove away, Daniel realized the most terrifying truth of all. Even when the prison is exposed, even when the doors are opened, some prisoners are never really released. Daniel woke up in a quiet room. The walls were light blue. The bed was soft. A window showed trees moving in the wind. For a moment, he felt calm. Then fear rushed back. He checked his arms. No straps. No cuffs. A woman sat in a chair near the bed. She stood when she saw his eyes open. My name is Sarah Miller, she said gently. I'm a therapist. You're in a federal hospital. Daniel stared at her. Am I still there? She shook her head. No. ADX is hours away. Daniel closed his eyes. His hands shook. I don't trust rooms anymore, he said. I know, Sarah replied. That makes sense. Days passed. Daniel learned how to walk outside again, how to sit with people, how to hear voices without panic. But some things never came back. He forgot words mid-sentence. Faces blurred. Sometimes he woke up not knowing his own name. One day, Lisa visited him. She looked tired. Older. It's out now, she said. Everything. The rooms. The machines. The erasing. Did it stop them? Daniel asked. Lisa hesitated. They shut down the program. Daniel nodded slowly. Did they save the others? He asked. Lisa looked down. No, she whispered. Daniel felt a deep ache in his chest. Weeks later, Daniel was released. Again. This time, papers said he was free. He moved into a small house. Quiet. Safe. But silence followed him everywhere. At night, he still heard footsteps. Still felt watched. One evening, Daniel sat at the table with a notebook. At the top of the page, he wrote, Who am I? Below it, he wrote what he could remember. I like coffee. I hate bright lights. I survived something terrible. He stopped. His hand shook. Something was missing. A knock came at the door. Daniel froze. He opened it slowly. A man stood there. Normal. Friendly. Sorry to bother you, the man said. I'm with a government follow-up program. Daniel's heart dropped. The man smiled calmly. Just routine questions. Daniel stepped back. The man glanced inside the house. Then he spoke softly. Daniel Wright. Daniel screamed, because hearing his name felt wrong. Too sharp. Too deep. The man tilted his head. Interesting, he said. Some damage remains. Daniel backed away as the man turned to leave. As the door closed, Daniel slid to the floor, shaking. He finally understood. The prison didn't need walls anymore. It lived inside him. And it always would.